Patriots Nation, something big is happening in Foxborough, and this is not just another regular NFL week. The roster is banged up, there's a quiet move to shore up the backfield and special teams, the passing attack has finally woken up for real, and a veteran is stepping up as the heart and soul of this locker room. The real question is, are we watching the start of a new era, or just a scare in the middle of the journey? You're not going to believe what we've got today. So sit down, smash that like button, and let's dive into the news. Patriots Nation. The first spark of the day is also a huge red flag in Foxborough. This is the most beat up this roster has been all season, right before Monday Night Football against the New York Giants. On one side, a chance to stack another win and stay in the AFC race. On the other, an injury list that would keep any fan up at night. Let's start with the big blows. Milton Williams and Will Campbell have already been placed on injured reserve. They're out for a while. Taking a starting defensive tackle off the field reshapes the whole front. Run defense, pass rush, gap control. Losing a versatile offensive lineman like Campbell directly affects Drake May's protection and the consistency of the ground game. That alone would be enough reason to worry, but it doesn't stop there. On Friday, Harold Landry III, Brendan Schooler, Kairos Tonga, and Jared Wilson didn't even practice. No helmet, just treatment. Schooler, Tonga, and Wilson already left the win over the Cincinnati Bengals with injuries, and now they're in real danger of missing the Giants game. That's a hit to special teams, defensive line rotation, and secondary depth all at once. And the scariest case is Landry. He's been battling a lingering knee issue, and the fact that he couldn't go at all sends a loud message. Landry is a key edge presence, setting the edge, handling mobile quarterbacks, winning those third and long downs, where either you get to the quarterback or you pay the price. Without him, this defense has to reinvent parts of its identity fast. There is at least a small bright spot. Jelani Tavai logged limited work, and CJ Dupre and Morgan Moses were back to full participation after being listed as did not practice on Thursday's estimated report. That shows the coaching staff is getting a couple of important pieces back, but the clock is moving quickly. Monday night, in front of the entire country, there are no excuses. If this team goes into that game this beat up, the game plan has to be razor sharp, the Patriot way has to speak louder than the injuries, and guys from deep in the depth chart will have to play like starters. And believe me, that's not even the wildest storyline of the day. Patriots Nation, while half the fan base is staring at the injury report like it's a horror movie, the other half is locked in on a move that slid under the radar but could become a key piece on offense and especially on special teams. The arrival of veteran Craig Reynolds on the practice squad. On paper, it looks like a small transaction. In reality, it feels like a calculated move to protect this team in crunch time. Here's the deal. The Patriots running back room turned into an infirmary. Antonio Gibson is out for the season. Ramondre Stevenson missed 3 games with a toe issue, and even after returning last week, still doesn't look completely right. That forced the team to burn every possible elevation of D'Ernest Johnson. When you reach that point, your backfield is at the limit, and one more injury can blow up the entire game plan. That's where Reynolds comes in. At 29, with 60 career games, he doesn't arrive as a headline grabber. He arrives as a problem solver, versatile, disciplined, physical, a player who made a living being the guy coaches trust. In Detroit, he was a reliable reserve and a core special teamer. This season, he barely played on offense, but logged over 100 special team snaps. That's exactly what New England needs after losing cornerback Alex Austin, who had been one of those under-the-radar special teams contributors. Reynolds was tied for third on the Lions in special teams tackles. He can help right away in kick coverage, punt coverage, and all those hidden yardage situations that decide field position. That might not light up the highlight reels, but it absolutely swings games in the fourth quarter. And if Ramondre is limited at all, Reynolds can step in as that steady back who takes a few carries per drive, protects the quarterback, and catches simple checkdowns out of the backfield to keep the chains moving. He understands blitz pickup, knows how to work between the tackles, and doesn't panic in tight windows. Plus, his resume shows that when he actually gets opportunities, he produces. There was that 112-yard rushing game back in 2021 and those 68 receiving yards he put up against the Patriots. He's the kind of player who shows up when no one is talking about him. In a season where this roster is being tested physically and emotionally, that profile fits perfectly. And honestly, this move might just be the first domino. Because if you think this is the biggest offensive story of the week, wait until you look at what this passing attack has been doing. Patriots Nation, take a deep breath. Because what's happening with this passing game is something nobody expected to click this fast. After a couple of ugly seasons on offense, searching for identity, testing pieces, and trying to rebuild, it finally looks like the gears have locked into place. And they've clicked in such an explosive way that even division rivals are starting to ask what exactly is going on in Foxborough. 4 straight games with a pass catcher going over 100 yards. 4 games, 4 different players, 4 different ways to win. That's how Drake May is transforming this offense from the inside out. The crazy part? The Patriots hadn't pulled that off since 2018, when Tom Brady had Julian Edelman and Josh Gordon trading monster games during the run to a 6th Lombardi. Now it's a second-year quarterback spreading the ball like a seasoned veteran. It really jumped off the screen in Week 9 when Demario "Pop" Douglas put up 100 yards and a touchdown. After weeks of a shrinking role, he reappeared right when the team needed a spark. He showed burst, toughness, and that ability to turn a basic play into a chunk gain. And as Mike Vrabel pointed out, even when Pop doesn't have the ball, he's blocking and doing the dirty work that defines this offense's identity. The next week, Mac Hollins took his turn. Brought in to be a red zone threat, he quietly became one of the better deep route runners in this system. Against the Buccaneers, he hauled in a huge deep ball that flipped the game. He doesn't need a touchdown every week to matter. Just by stretching the field, he forces defenses to respect the vertical game and opens underneath space for everybody else. It's smart, layered football. Then, in prime time against the Jets, Stefon Diggs reminded everyone why he's still one of the most dangerous route runners in the league. He may not be piling up touchdowns every week, but he's absolutely the lifeline of this passing game on money downs. Crossers, intermediate routes, 3rd and long, late clock situations. When May needs an answer, he looks to Diggs, and Diggs responds. And when it looked like Cincinnati had figured everything out, Hunter Henry stepped up as the veteran who can tilt a game. A career-high 115 yards, a crucial touchdown, and leadership from the first drive to the last whistle. Henry has become one of the most reliable targets in this offense, and his chemistry with May is dragging the entire passing game to a new level. And as good as those numbers look, his real impact goes even deeper. Patriots Nation, if there's one player who embodies this turning point, this emotional and competitive rebirth in Foxborough, it's Hunter Henry. What Josh McDaniels said about him on Friday wasn't just praise. It sounded like a coach talking about the standard inside his locker room. McDaniels has coached Brady, Moss, Gronk. He knows what greatness looks like. So when a coach with that background calls Henry one of the most respected workers on the team, you're not just talking about a productive tight end. You're talking about a tone setter. Someone who shapes the locker room, not just the stat sheet. Look at what Henry did against the Bengals. 7 catches, 115 yards, a touchdown that completely changed the feel of the game. When the offense was stuck early, he became the outlet, the security blanket, the emotional stabilizer. And this wasn't a one-off. Henry has been that guy for May since last year. As May grows, their connection has turned into one of the most dependable quarterback-tight end combinations in the conference. But Henry's value is also about how he goes about his job. In his 10th NFL season, he's still getting better. McDaniels highlighted the way he practices, studies, and prepares. Full speed, every day, no shortcuts. For younger players, that's the blueprint. That's what the Patriot way looks like in real life, not just in slogans. Henry himself made it clear how much this season means. After years of losing more than winning, A 10-2 start isn't just a good record. It's validation. It's proof that the grind, the frustration, and the work in the locker room have started to pay off. And it helps that he and May are genuinely close. They're wired similarly. Highly competitive, detail-obsessed, constantly pushing each other through reps in the red zone, on third down, in the 2-minute drill. All of that chemistry is paying off in tight moments. If the Patriots are truly in the middle of a rebirth, Henry is one of the anchors holding everything together. A quiet leader with a huge presence. And when an entire locker room decides to follow a guy like that, you don't just have a hot stretch. You have the foundation of something that can last. Patriots Nation, after a day like this, it's hard not to feel like something special is building in Foxborough. Even with a loaded injury report, this team keeps showing resilience. Even with new pieces arriving, the chemistry in the locker room keeps growing. Even with the pressure rising, the passing game is answering with real fireworks and big-time chunk plays all over the field. And right in the middle of it all, leaders like Hunter Henry are keeping this group locked in, focused, and hungry to win. There are still plenty of battles left in this playoff run, but this spirit we're seeing, that's pure Patriot way. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these stories hit you the hardest today? Drop a like, leave a comment, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel.